Hello, and what's this? We hear the music. We hear the baboops, but where's the game? There's the game. Hello and welcome back, everyone. We are here playing as Bosnia, son. And in this, we have a goal. We have a dream. I'm not sure that dream is possible. Shout out to reality. Our dream is to form Yugoslavia, and then from Yugoslavia, form Central Europe, be a monarchy, and in doing so, we would be a Muslim HRE because we are currently Muslim. This is the meme. This is the dream. Unfortunately, a bit of a rocky start, and I'm not sure if this is achievable within 80 years, because HRE is a bit of a thing to form, and it's not like we're exactly strong where we stand, with GDP of 3.6 million and around 3 million pops. This is like the start condition, I think, for like Sardinia Piedmont, basically. Something like that. You can see they're at 5 million now and 4.3 million. I'm not sure if, I think roughly speaking it's like the start condition for Sardinia and Piedmont, and we're in 20 years, and not only that, we are also not free. We are not as free as we would like. We are a subject of Austria-Hungary. Now, they have a couple rivals. The rivals are going both ways. There's a good chance that we can, make something happen and try and get diplomatic actions here. Try and get request support independence on two fronts. And Austria also recently, not longer as buddy-buddy with Russia. In fact, Russia doesn't like them. And so we absolutely 100% need either Prussia or Russia to assist us. Actually, we don't anymore now that we have a coast. Maybe we could do it with just GB, get independence. But we're going to try and resuscitate this run, more or less. More suffering. We also do, on the YouTube, have a poll going, whether or not we want to play the game, or instead, run more polls. And I don't know what inspired me to make this poll. It was mainly because yesterday, here, let's unpause while we talk about it. Yesterday, although we are kind of just waiting for our infamy to decay down, yesterday, it took us like an hour and a half to get the game going, because we did a bunch of polls on what we wanted to play, whether it was the mod and then what country. Polls were super close, and now the people just want more polls. To be fair, viewership peaked while we were running polls. Maybe we should just run polls instead of playing Victoria 3. The true Victoria 3 politics simulator is in fact just playing politics in regards to what we're doing. Meme plus dream equals dream, but spelled D-R-E-M-E. You know what's interesting is the word meme, coined by Richard Dawkins, to refer to using the logic of evolutionary biology and applying it to a cultural unit instead of a genetic unit. And instead of calling it a gene, he called it a meme. But now meme is co-opted, kind of to refer to, okay, it refers to a cultural unit that has, propagated wildly, but the meme for that meme is better than the meme for Richard Dawkins' meme, so now the meme, the meaning of meme has changed. I wish we could exploit this, but I think we have a truce. We do have a truce. That's not us. Do we not have a truce? There we go. Bosnia has a truce with Ottomans. And that's kind of the only thing we can really do that is useful is release countries. But I was thinking releasing Bulgaria would probably be useful to us. Kind of want to take a little bit of a snack out of Greece, to be honest. Because we're right by Attica. Attica, for those of you who don't know, pretty strong state to take. It is quite a bit of infamy, so there is this, but it's not strong because the state is particularly good, although sulfur and lead is not nothing, but it's strong because there's a really, really good company here. And for us, if we were to acquire Thessaly, it would all be connected, it would be coastal, so this would allow us to build up navy, and there's a bunch of kind of like little reasons why this would be useful to us. Let's maybe delete that guy and that guy. I do think we want to kind of shift on over to having one army and having that army be half arty and infantry. So, but maybe we have to go back to votes. The vote on whether to vote instead of play is winning. For those of you who are on the YouTubes, 76% of you guys just want to do vote all day instead of play the game. What a time to be alive. That was such a strange stream. We also talked about politics for like 2 hours, but I enjoyed the irony of voting whether or not to talk about politics. Someone asked if we started as Montenegro, and honestly, this is such a fever dream if you're playing as Montenegro and this is your map. You just snake your way out through Bosnia, because Austria decides to take Ottoman Montenegro, and you can't fight Austria, but you can fight the Ottomans, and you just snake your way out. It's like a spiral. You're spiraling downward and downward and downward, growing more and more delirious as you try and find your way to the coast. Shout out to the one country in the Balkans, I forget which one it is, where they don't have any coastal access despite like really wanting coastal access. And the world is spinning and spinning and spinning, and you don't know which way is up, but you know that the up is not the coast, and you don't have a coast because you just want to get to the ocean so you can get to South Africa because that's where all the gold is, and you're just getting more and more delirious, and you've just gone a little bit crazy. Okay. Do have... Occasionally I talk about energy drinks on stream. Currently drinking an energy drink. This has to be the worst energy drink flavor I've had in a very long time. And I have a theory that the batch I got is just poorly made. Because every single one of these basically explodes when I open it. If anyone else has any experience with this particular one, and they think it tastes fantastic, I might give it another try, but it is Redcon's peach ring flavor. And currently, man oh man, does it taste bad. Bosnia is that country. The fever dream is real. Croatia has the coast. Got it. I knew Croatia had the... That makes sense. I knew Croatia, or I thought I remembered Croatia just having the long sliver of coast. It makes sense that it's Bosnia. Hey Tarek main, I think it's been a while since I've seen you in chat. I used to be a Tarek main back when I first played League of Legends. Alright, we're about to dip under 25 infamy, so we can start thinking about where we're gonna expand. And by thinking about, I mean not thinking at all, because we just expand the same places every game. Man. There we are, 24, baby. I really... One of the reasons I actually want to play more mods is because I want to engage in the process of evaluating where to expand again. I feel like I haven't gotten to do that in so long. And massive overhaul mods force you to rethink this type of thing. But as it stands, there's no singular place I think that is better to expand in than Brunei. Brunei is just the absolute creme de la creme of expansion spots. We also don't have the Navy for that, so maybe let's get on that, huh? We are getting on that. Okay. Allegedly. We could go for Power of the Purse. We might have to do that, actually. Let's take a look at what we're researching and have a little bit of a think. This makes the Navy recruit up faster. If we wanted to have a 20 stack Navy at any point in time, we're gonna need to do this. I do like our idea of going labor movement, though, to try and demarginalize the trade unionists. These guys have expanded a little bit, so we're actually going to move our interest to Arabia. And that'll be the first expansion spot. The softest expansion spot is Bahrain. It looks like they're indisposed. We'll still be able to land with just this 5 stack. MTAP used to be Richard Brackman. Are you still Richard Brackman on YouTube, though? It's better to just play something bigger. What about Mexico and doing a challenge run by deleting USA? We've done that before. As a Serb, I'm triggered. The true turrets. I was here sometimes the last few streams, like 5 times or something, but then there was more going on, so I guess you didn't notice. That might be true. That actually... Yeah, you're here right now at the very beginning as, like, viewership is ramping up. Brunei, Gaza, or Qatari is default, basically. Do you solely abuse that off of easiness to conquer with some resources? Wouldn't Pennsylvania, Ural, etc. be better? So, like, there's, like, an intersection of, like, various things that are important, and Brunei just kind of wins, like, overall. But a big part of it is whenever you're evaluating where to take, the cost is the infamy. The reason why taking something like Pennsylvania is almost never good is because it usually costs 35 infamy, because you're peeling a state off of a recognized great power, and it's also going to have the population high enough that you have to pay the, like, absolute cap. So if we were to you know, take a look at, I think we can look at exactly how much it costs if we do through this. Conquer state. It would cost us 27.5 infamy, and so we could conquer, this is going to cost us 3 infamy, so it's nearly 10 times the price to go after Pennsylvania than it is Brunei. And so this is the resource you are paying. Infamy is the resource you pay for stuff, and Pennsylvania is just not 10 times better than Brunei. Like, if we could have either Pennsylvania or Brunei, we would probably narrowly prefer having Pennsylvania, but with Brunei specifically, you're having gold mines. The iron is pretty good, the sulfur is okay. You do get logging camps. The really significant thing about Pennsylvania is, okay, it's way more resources, but you also get a really strong company in the Carnegie Steel. So, like, we would prefer to have that. But Brunei, you also get an adjacency with China for doing trade, which is really useful. To be fair, you could go after Macau. I don't know how the Sikh Empire is just crushing China right now. They must be on the same side as Great Britain. But getting Macau is probably something we do in games. We should probably go after it more, that's really strong to get a treaty port on China. But the thing is that taking stuff from GPs is basically never worth the infamy. There's no spot that's so disgustingly good that makes it worth the infamy. And in fact, one of the reasons why you don't go for Attica, like, every single game, is because Attica is recognized, and so it costs more infamy to go after them. And so that is kind of what makes it less worth it. However, now there's a weird inflection point with the game, because it is now better to go for recognized stuff early, stuff that is on recognized powers, and we might even go for Attica. And the reason for this is, if you can stack modifiers, you can get stuff really, really, really cheap, and you can stack modifiers on unrecognized powers, both through civilizing mission, colonialization, and also eventually multilateral alliances. And if you also can go the power block, we can't show off the principal, but the principal is the colonial offices one, which gives 5% against unrecognized powers per level, so you can basically pay, like, almost 0 against unrecognized powers. And so this makes it so that in the early game, when you don't have all those discounts, you don't necessarily want to go after unrecognized powers because they can be way cheaper later. So you want to do all of your recognized conquest in the early game, and so it makes something like peeling Attica off of Greece look a little bit more appealing. But the thing is, like, let's take a look at how much infamy that is. Getting the company is just probably not going to be worth, oh my god, pain. Getting the company is just probably not going to be worth, you know, the value is not 5 times the value of Brunei, which, you know, it has to do with, mostly with, like, the way costs is, like, figured in. We might do a little bit of a Mara shuffle here. So this is like 2 infamy. Mara is not particularly useful, but the big thing about Mara is it's insanely easy to get in on. And that's another factor, is like the US, a war with the US would also be really uncomfortable. A war against Brunei is not. Bologna might be something we can go after, actually. While Bahrain is having a revolt. By the way, I've reached the point where I mastered Vic 3, and now I feel like I fully understand most of the key mechanics, but the most I've developed this feeling is the game is just too short. Is that just me? I mean, it's definitely short relative to, like, EU4. Like, it doesn't feel like you are getting, like, this long campaign going. Yeah, the game does seem short. Also, the game is effectively shortened by the fact that, you know, there are going to be loud cars outside, and that also makes the game shorter. But it's shortened by the fact that, like, you don't want to play past the, like, the back 20 years is generally still kind of laggy. You kind of, 1.7 allowed you to kind of play, like, 15 years deeper before, like, getting the same amount of lag. And it depends how big you are. Like, we can play to 36 because we're not going to be that big because we're really weak. But, yeah. I think that the biggest problem is that so many of the countries like play the same that it just kind of feels a little repetitive. And they have to change their... I think to some extent, for the people who have like as many hours as I do, they have to change their design philosophy when it comes to like making countries different than each other, which is something they kind of don't want to do. They want it to feel like sandboxy, and it's like, okay, well... I don't think we have enough infamy to avoid. Ooh, I guess we'll be doing this now. Wait, why did we get called into this? Wait, what? Don't they just support our independence? Why'd we get called into this? I'm so lost. It's not like we have a defense pact, is it? Are we supporting their independence? That's not... Why did we get pulled in to this war? I think this is a bug. Every time I want to start a new game, I can't help but EU5 will be the proper Vic 3. I think EU5 will feel a lot different. You spend money to build up the new state. Brunei has gold, so it pays for itself. Yeah. Puppet Greece and Seize Land is probably cheaper. On the Infamy? You think? My impression was that the Seize Land cost a lot of Infamy. Puppeting Greece doesn't give you the company. Yeah, but was that Elia from Reddit? I think that what she's talking about is puppeting them, seizing Attica specifically, and then that would give you the company. Hey, so user, what's up? How's it going? How you be? How you doing? How you feeling? Did you put an interest there? They asked you for support independence? Yes, hi. Hello. A while back, Elia had a much nicer spreadsheet than mine. I don't know if she keeps it updated, though. Oh, good, sir. How are you? I'm doing well. I'm a little confused. Why, Oh, the Raj already formed too. Not like this. We probably should have done something to break this apart, in theory. I guess we don't have to do that every single run. But I'm very confused as to why I got pulled in this war. I mean, I don't care about fighting it, but we don't have an interest there. It's completely outdated. Yeah, that was like a year ago almost, I think. But I'm at a loss. I don't know why I got pulled in. I mean, we don't have to do anything and it's not a big deal, and we will just slam dunk take the good relations with the UK, but like, I'm confused. We might as well improve relations with Spain. Ottoman Empire is an interesting one because we could peel states and stuff off of them with the help of Austria, and Austria is very likely to be willing to help us, but at the same time, they would help us against Austria if we had good relations with them. I suppose now if we wanted to get... Oh, we can't declare war on the subject of British Raj because Raj doesn't have any subjects anymore. I was going to say, I suppose now if we wanted to get cute, we could declare on... Yeah, but that doesn't work anymore. That doesn't work anymore. Okay, so this is under the amount of infamy we have. It would pull in Brunei and Kutai. We'll probably reload if someone huge joins against us. It doesn't look like... Predictably, no one huge is going to join. So we'll just do this. It is just against a Belungan. And this will give us a native interest in the region as well, which is something that we're interested in. We can't do math. That's really bad. Every time you do this, it gives you a diplomatic catalyst with other countries. So you shouldn't peak up over 25 infamy very often. Because when you get a diplomatic catalyst, they're likely to create lobbies, and the lobbies are likely to be uncomfortable. East Borneo is also pretty strong, but it's not strong until later, because a bunch of oil appears here. But this North Borneo, gold will appear here, but this is just a tiny little snippet here. Brunei sides with them. Oh, we're gonna get a truce with Brunei. That's tragic. Oh well. I think that we will not... I guess we could go for war reparations on Brunei. It seems really marginal. Is it worth? We're gonna land Belungan. Is there a world where we just can't enforce on Brunei? And it bricks us? No, I think we're okay to do that. Something like that. Hopefully these guys can recruit up a little bit faster, but I think we don't need these extra marginal naval bases here. It's only be 23 years restart. I mean, we could restart. How's the poll doing on whether or not we should just do more polls? It's just playing the game is starting to recover. We could restart. Restarting feels kind of bad. But maybe it's the right play. It's like, these spots are kind of hard to evaluate because one of the reasons why the rest of the run is going to be harder is because the rest of the world is already doing pretty well. And when everyone stays weak, it makes it much easier to run them over later. Maybe I get to updating this sheet at some point, but that was before ownership rework, so I'd have to think of how to do it. Are they supporting your independence? Great Britain is, but I don't know why that makes it so that when they start a play to annex these guys, it pulls us in automatically. You might take a look at mine for inspiration. Where can I find it? Yeah, we can link the spreadsheet. Not the nutrition thing. Don't click this link if you are under 18 that I am about to post. If you're under 18, this is not for your eyes. Nidzoni, thank you for the follow. If someone supports you, you get pulled into their place? That's wild. Ottoman lobby was killing you at the start? Yeah. Now, we are at a point where we have the flexibility to, like, just demand stuff. We're slowly gaining liberty desire. We have the flexibility to just demand a couple things and start a play against, them. We have support independence from the UK, so we might be able to just get independence at this point, just like, but right now it's not so bad. I mean, it's going to be bad when they enforce their laws on us and swap us up, so maybe that's a reason to swap, but we're also siphoning off migrants from them, so it's not terrible. Not great, not terrible. Like, out of 10, I'd rate it at 3.6. Hey. Our lobby disbanded because these are the new Ottomans that are belligerent towards us. So now, resetting of attitudes, we have options. Also, I think we don't have a truce with them anymore. Yeah, because they're new. So we could declare... Oh, they don't have an interest in where they live yet. It's one of those deals. But releasing Bulgaria maybe makes some sense here. What dictates AI desire to become a subject? They generally don't like to become subjects too much, but I think that it helps if you have like the same people in government and this type of stuff. You're welcome, oh yeah. Yeah, I'm not saying it makes sense that being supported yanks you into the play. I'm saying that it does happen in this patch. Got it. Yeah, definitely. I mean, we're kind of indifferent, but definitely a little bit of strangeness. We thought we were on pause, but we're not. I thought about making a program that analyzes your save file and tells you what's most profitable to build under various measures of profitability, but that would be awkward for anyone to use. Yeah. Also, like... The question is how much do you want to sweat the game, you know? Because in theory, you could pause with every construction decision and figure out what's the very best thing to build. But, like, how much do you want to sweat? Well, we need to add construction here. We're not draining the investment pool. Albania. Every time I think of Albania, I think of the like Miss Universe like pageant where the woman like just screams Albania, like Albania, just like a little bit silly, but I think we're like on the verge of getting skirmish now. Yeah. Pretty sure this landing works just fine for us. If not, they have war goal, war reparations. They're not going to enforce that ever, so. Seems like the AI only sometimes thinks it has something to lose in a civil war. Yeah, that's kind of wild. We're just gonna have a big UK this run. I guess we just try and buddy up. To be fair, they do like us. We could grant them investment rights. This is also another reason to try and break free from Austria. The fact that we would prefer to be laissez-faire. You can't go laissez-faire as a subject because it's just too bad. The guys over on PDX Tools have created a great visualization for EU4 saves with lots of data the game doesn't show. Interesting. I always have a big UK, sadly. I have a video on my YouTube that shows you how to just free the entire EIC every single run, which makes them a lot weaker. UK has like 0 chill this patch as well. They just like, they're super gung-ho about acquiring Infamy, and since they also always get, they're like, it seems that the AI's selection on power block principles is just random, but they start off with Colonial Offices 1, I think, so they'll always get Colonial Offices 3, and Colonial Offices 3 on the UK is like, bruh. They get the minus Infamy generation, and the amount of stuff they take is based on the Infamy cost, and so the UK ends up taking a whole bunch of stuff, which I don't like hate. That's probably good for the simulation, but is there anyone with negative tax? There's not. Albania's closest, but we don't have a construction malice there. Or we have a construction malice in Albania, so we don't want to build a bunch in Albania. Also do want to incorporate Albania in the near future, so... This construction sector is taking forever to build, but construction sector is just kind of low construction costs. But that's one of the reasons we're not building in Albania, really. Yeah, I mean, I guess we just kind of want to break free. Just like, I'm just thinking, like, just for the purposes of going laissez-faire. Can't go free trade. Do we have a protectionist idiot? We do. So we couldn't go laissez-faire if we broke free anyways. We also... Would it be wrong of us to go total separation when we're planning on going Muslim HRE? Probably. Or probably not. That's probably supposed to be a no-no, huh? It really sucks that if you... Like, your agitator choices are significantly limited if you go state religion. Like, we won't be able to invite, like, any agitators. Oh, I think they wanted poor laws. Let's just do poor laws here. Yeah, no, but you have to do it before the Raj. Yeah, you do have to release them before the Raj. I think, yeah, because there's no subject of a subject to declare on anymore. Make the stream NSFW if you're going to post spreadsheets. True. Let's change the category. Big true. True if nice. I think freedom of conscience is valid. Yeah, freedom of conscience doesn't give us too much more. We kind of like these guys. We'll put a stop to it. Because mostly, I mean, I guess it's good for Shiite. But most of the people who are in the same religious group as us, like, it's kind of all Sunni, right? Our naval invasion gets in. So now we just have to hope the spaghetti doesn't get spagoodled, which is an unfortunate risk you run when you play this game, but hopefully we get the push off. Yeah, just pain here. The investment pool we really want to free up. We really would like laissez-faire here. We'd be able to pop off a lot harder. We're just going to finish these buildings and then let the private queue take over. So I guess we're kind of speeding things up a little bit here. Too queued. Where do we have... Is the private queue really building in Albania? No, there's such a big construction malice. Why you do this? Why you do this? I think we have road maintenance here. I guess we don't need that. We definitely don't need that. So that will make things a little bit better. Also, we do not want to run a deficit. One of the reasons we don't want to run a deficit is because most of our buildings are nationally owned. You can see all this orange here. With the nationally owned buildings specifically, they are under interventionism, paying out government dividends. The government dividends are subjected to a malus that gets bigger and bigger the more debt you have. The more debt that's government owned. Since we have a lot of government owned buildings, this will get pretty big pretty quick. And then we'll further decrease the amount of money we have, so... I think once this railroad is finished, we're going to pause active construction. We're going to let the private queue take over. Lower strata in Bosnia become more loyalist. Well, how populous is Bosnia? It's like a third of our population. And we don't super need to pass poor laws faster. I don't think we fulfilled the government petition anyway. Maybe we do. Yeah, let's just do that. That one's gonna be nice. Is this guy just on defend only? I think he is, yeah. Wrathful. You're a moderate, the spineless coward. Alright. To be fair, we could just stay on defense and then probably just... Staying on defense might even just make sense here. Because now our front kit gets spaghettied in a weird way. I think since these guys form a triangle, our front won't get spaghettied in a weird way either way. Jesus Christ. Look at this. Just absolute dog pile. I wonder if we could sway Austria in here. I wish we could know if we could sway them in. Because we're kind of in the market for that, huh? Sway and liberate and this type of stuff. Where are we not spreading on military? It feels so bad to go power the purse. Go corporate charters. But we did want to go the labor one because we were hoping the trade unions would demarginalize. Yeah. Can you change religion? I don't think you could change religion. There's some weird things you could do with revolutions and forming countries, like overlapping on each other, where you can like change culture. I don't think they've patched it out, so you could get like Irish India, but homesteading or tenant farmers, definitely tenant farmers at this point. Although homesteading allows peasants to migrate, so I think homesteading is a little bit better if you have an enormous amount of, well, it's mixed bag. If you really need the peasants to migrate, homesteading might be better. By the way, this is inverted. But the thing is like, the rural folk get way more powerful than the landowners do. The rural folk under homesteading get way more powerful than the landowners under tenant farmers, and the rural folk are an annoying interest group, so them being powerful is a little bit annoying. Naysayer 28, I don't believe you. Thank you for the follow. I missed 13 points so that Brazil will accept my protectorate. Is there something I could do? If your army, if the value of your army in that calculation is less than 50, you can add a bunch of conscripts and they'll value your conscripts in that equation. And also, if you can slot your IGs so that they match the IGs of their government exactly, and this will help as well. What were the last 5 books you read? I can actually answer this question with some degree of precision. One of them was Industry and Empire, The Birth of the Industrial Revolution, which we haven't done a book review on, which we were planning on doing on this channel. Another is The next one was In the Camps, China's high-tech penal colony, which covers kind of what's going on in Xinjiang right now. The next was Monarchy of Fear, by Martha Nussbaum, who's a philosopher. I think she's primarily philosophy of emotion. And then the next is War Made in Russian, Putin's Russia or Russia's Putin. And then, oh no wait, A War Made in Russia. That was just a tagline for my book review. And then finally, A War in Ukraine. A big part of why I was reading the Ukraine books was for the Ukraine stream. Haven't been reading that much recently. Before that, read Medium is the Message by Marshall McLuhan and Stolen Focus by Johann Hari. So those are the last 3 books I read. I suppose I could maybe show, like, here. Let's maybe show. Show, don't tell, huh? Okay, so here's my ideas channel. Let's maybe pull this over back so it's centered. This is the latest videos. I do book reviews on this channel. There's In the Camps. This was posted a day ago. And then here's the Martha Nussbaum one. Here's the various Ukraine ones. The Marshall McLuhan one, The Medium is the Message, Johann Hari. Before that, did read the Goggin's book, although that was an audiobook. I liked it on audiobook. Before that, Touching the Void. Before that, a book on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, the What Everyone Needs to Know series. Really huge fan of that series in general. It's put out by Oxford University Press, and generally most books that are about anything tend to have a really hard bias or slant in terms of like the way that they're presenting the information, and I think that this is generally avoided in the What Everyone Needs to Know series, and so I'm a big fan of that. Before that, 100 Great Essays, but now we're starting to get in the weeds of this was a while ago, man. I haven't been reading anywhere near as much as I have in the past. I kind of want to go on a little bit of a reading kick, but that means there's going to be fewer videos. Atheism, A Very Short Introduction, From Cold War to Hot Peace. This is on Russian and US diplomacy. It's the way you say it. This is on vocal projection and this type of stuff. I should really just do more vocal exercises as well and work on your voice. Like, you can develop your voice actively, you just have to be proactively. Think Again, Adam Grant. Now This Is Starting to Get a while ago. Really enjoyed that one, though. Actually thinking of rereading it sometime soon, but it's kind of, I hope that answers the question. What religion are you are? You mean IRL? I assume you mean in-game. In-game we are Sunni, so this is how we can form Muslim HRE. Because we can form Yugoslavia, and then Yugoslavia can form Central Europe. The worst interest group? I don't know if rural folk's the worst, but the thing is the landowners don't get super strong under tenant farmers like the rural folk do under... If you let everyone vote and you go... if you go like something more progressive than wealth voting, again, this is inverted. If you go for like census suffrage or universal suffrage, and you also have homesteading, they just get an enormous amount of clout, which the landowners don't get if you're doing that. So, how you do Irish India? You have to like, someone on my Discord can explain it much better than I can, because this was something that was like a meme that was doable, but I believe you have to like, form Great Britain as the EIC, during a revolution, swap sides to the revolution, win with the revolution, you integrate like the revolutions, or you integrate the old, thing, but you don't like swap countries, so you don't become the UK. It has to do with doing a nation formation while having a revolution. And so... Why don't you get state atheism every run despite you calling it OP? I don't think I've called it OP. I think I've called it theoretically maybe best. It's slightly better economically because you get better, like a better PM in one spot. It leads to a lot of discrimination, which causes problems. It gives you more authority. The interest group, it's this minus 50% is kind of nice. The new production methods, does it show us which ones? But a big reason to not go state atheism is it makes your game lag super hard. Also, sometimes you'll have 0 accepted pops in a region. If you can't seed it with atheism, it will not go up as well. But, like, theoretically, like, I think state atheism is, like, kind of best, but, like, it's not, like, slam dunky type of best. It's, like, okay, like, marginal type of best. Let's stop incorporating these. Let's look at government construction. Alright, I think we're okay with this. And then we'll let the private queue take over again. We don't want to acquire too much debt because all our nationally owned buildings. God, we really want to be able to nationalize or privatize all of our buildings. This is such a... I guess we want to privatize all of our buildings even if we don't. God, why does Russia hates Austria, but they are unwilling to give us support. Weird looking French rev, but okay. Oh wow, I didn't even know they were text sharing with us. Now, why is it we can't ask for support independence? Or ask to increase autonomy. Oh, we can't ask to increase autonomy because we're already maximally autonomous. Okay, we just have to get to the plus 90. Well, the laws are upside down. Yeah, they're upside down because we revved and then we were forced to swap sides because Austria sided with the rev. And this is why we're Austria subject. What's your opinion on Friedrich Nietzsche? I'm a fan. You'd have to ask a more specific question, though. I don't know. Like, is significantly historically in philosophy. I've read a lot of his stuff. Probably my favorite philosopher. He also is not engaged in... Most of what Nietzsche does is critique, rather than, like, he's not a systems philosopher that puts forward a system or, like, a worldview or this type of thing, so, he's mainly, like, critical of, like, other philosophy, the human condition, and this type of stuff. Need more David Graeber. I'm not familiar with David Graeber. What did you... think that Goggins was wrong about? So, my impression of Goggins, and after reading the book, I think that I agreed with him on a lot of points, but I thought that Goggins was too into, like, the hustle corn type of thing, which I just generally think is bad. I can't really... not really that prepared to articulate, like, why I think it's bad. Let me think through for like a minute. But the problem is there's like this culture of like just try harder, which like trying harder isn't bad, but it's not like a substantive intervention advice. And so if someone just tells you to go harder, like they're not actually offering you real advice. And so this is what a lot of like self-helpy type stuff does, is it just valorizes like just puking your guts out type of effort, which I think is just like not a very good intervention and is oftentimes counterproductive, and that was my impression of Goggins going in. But then he has a lot of like specific interventions of what to do that has a greater degree of specificity than just go hard all the time in his book, which like that was my impression of him. I still think he's like kind of wrong / weird about some things, but like I had a much better impression of him going out than I did going in. But a big part of the thing that's wrong with like any of these like go hard types of narratives is in post hoc analysis, like after you go hard and then you go home, whenever you're analyzing what you could have done differently, every time you fail, you can always say, oh, I should have just tried harder. You know what I mean? And when you have a goal, when you set a goal of what you're trying to do, your goals should be SMART. They should be, and this is an acronym, they should be specific, measurable, actionable, and timely. And the problem with trying harder is that it's not specific. You don't know whether or not you've accomplished the correct intervention. And so when you just try and go hard and then you fail, you can always come back and beat yourself up with the fact that, hey, I could have just gone harder, because in theory you can always just try harder. And so you do not know when you have correctly achieved what it is that you set out to do when the intervention or what you're being told to do is just to try harder. You don't know if you've tried hard enough, and so you will always beat yourself up in the post hoc analysis and be like, oh, I just didn't try hard enough, when in reality sometimes you just fail because for reasons completely outside your control, and sometimes you try exactly as hard as you intended to because you thought that would be enough, and then it just turns out to not be enough. But generally speaking, a lot of what Hustlecorn does is like it's just like this, like you have to want it like more bad than the other guy. You have to try harder. You got to get up and it's just like look, like getting up at 6 a.m. is fine and all that, or getting up at 4, but it's like this doesn't achieve the thing. Although, to be fair, putting in a specific number of hours into study or into practice, this is a thing, but that's specific. If you say to yourself, hey, in order to achieve this goal, I need to study for 3 hours every single day, or I need to practice for 3 hours every single day, you know, whatever it is, that's specific. You will know if you have done the 3 hours every single day, and then when you fail and you go to the post hoc analysis, you can go and say, hey, my evaluation of how much time I needed, that was wrong, right? Which is much different. Hey, Egypt, goodbye, Tripoli. This might kick us into minor power, which would be good. You know, it's an intervention that is specific, and the problem with like a lot of like hustle porn type of stuff is that it doesn't offer any substantive advice, and it's just try harder, and like it's just not advice. It's like it's an appeal to emotion. It's like a we're just vibing here rather than a like specific intervention. What's your plan for annexing Austria? I'm not sure how this goes, to be honest. We do have to get to the point where we could declare, I mean, I think we're gonna look to see what happens if we like click these buttons and see who we can sway. So we're gonna take a save. Because if we can't sway anyone, we're not about this war. I wish you could see ahead of time, but... And obviously we would not do this if we were playing on Iron Man. Is anyone swayable? No. Okay. David Graeber is an anthropologist. His classic Debt, The First 5,000 Years. He also wrote Bullshit Jobs, examining the phenomenon of more and more jobs having no societal value, even according to the people who work those jobs. Yeah, like finance. Finance is a weird sort of like people who just buy and sell stocks to make money. That, like, I think provides like basically zero value to society. It's a little bit more complicated when you're like helping someone else manage their portfolio, but hardness is measurable. Get hard. Try harder advice is individualistic nonsense if the current system is to succeeding is rigged. Not everyone can succeed. Someone has to fail. Trying harder is not a solution to the problem. Also, like, when you fail, like, you just beat yourself up because you're like, oh, I didn't try hard enough. Like, the worldview where all you have to do is just try harder, like, I think is one that is self-flagellating. Like, so, which I think is, like, counterproductive. But, like, Goggin's had, like, more specific interventions. It's just when he talks a lot, like, he just, like, you gotta get hard. What is this, Egypt? This Egypt is the product of the Ottomans getting wrecked. Why do you never play Iron Man mode? Well, I have actually pulled multiple times. I would be willing to play on Iron Man mode. I've pulled multiple times and people are less interested in it. It would definitely slow down my ability to make videos. And also, like, I would have to play a lot slower. Or, like, I would have to play a lot slower. It would slow down my ability to make videos. There would be fewer videos. And the problem in general I have with Iron Man, especially in EU4, I don't know to what extent it's like this in Vic 3, is most EU4, like, Iron Man runs aren't really true Iron Man runs. Because people just bird. So, like, there's not an actual mechanism to prevent you from really making it a true Iron Man run. And so, the fact that you can bird a whole bunch of, like, BS, like, is, like, it's not Iron Man in the same way. Like, I did, like, a One Conquest, One Faith, like, 10 years ago in EU4. And to be fair, the One Faith failed because of a bug. I couldn't convert one last state. But I started as Austria, and the opener was getting a bunch of personal unions. And the way you do that is if the ruler dies in an unfavorable way to you, you just Control-Alt-Delete, and you end the task, and you just keep doing this until you get personal unions with a whole bunch of people. And it's like, that's obviously not, like, true Iron Man. But the Iron Man, as it stands, allows it. So, like, the Iron Man is not, it's not properly restrictive enough on one level in terms of, like, the integrity and the spirit of what Iron Man is. On another level, there's, like, so much, like, BS in Victoria 3, much less so now that you can see who's going to join in a play against you, like, this type of stuff. But diplomatic plays, back when, like, just, like, 2 patches ago, were absolutely psychotic because you had no idea what was going to happen, and a GP siding against you was, like, cataclysmically bad. And you would just end up having to pay out war reps a whole bunch, and so you would just scuff your entire run because, like, it was completely opaque what would happen. Like, it would say if someone swayed your side or the other, but only, like, that only gave you, like, 20% of the joins. And then someone would need to call an ambulance for you because you would just get wrecked by a GP. And so, like, if everyone wanted me to play Iron Man, though, I would. I think Iron Man on Vic 3 would just be very, very frustrating. Also because, like, you're... like, there's also just, like, a lot of bugs that just completely scuff stuff. And, like, you have to, like, you would just lose a bunch of wars to bugs as well. Is it possible to research every technology in society, military, and production? Yes. I think it's still possible, especially with the advanced research power block. In a way, isn't the hustle culture really just the 10,000 hour theory of mastering a skill? No. The 10,000 hour theory would be, hey, your 10,000 hours is specific and measurable, right? Try harder is not. If you're like, hey, I need to become a master at this thing, In order to become a master, I need to study for 10,000 hours. I'm going to study 3 hours a day for, or 3 hours a day for at least 333 days of the year, for, 10 years. If you do that, and that's your plan, you will know when you have executed that. You'll be like, alright, I'm a master now. We have an interest. My name's Jonas. We want to improve relations with Prussia so that they'll support our independence. So having this second interest, because we're a minor power now, because of the event, is really nice. God, I want to privatize all of my stuff so bad. Freaking UK, man. There's zero chill here. Yeah, we can't build too much more. The thing is, we really gotta let our private queue take over, because the investment pool is huge. We'd be able to drain it if we privatize the buildings we're constructing. But we can't do that. If we privatize it because we're a subject and Austria has investment rights, they'll just buy up all our buildings. So, alas, poor Yorick. I knew him well. Horatio. L/Horatio. I think that birding is the major reason why Vic 3 now allows achievements in 9 Iron Man. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Like, the birding is also, in terms of gameplay, birding is unfun to do. If you're like, okay, I'm gonna do this really hard achievement, I know the standard strategy involves a whole bunch of birding, like starting as Austria and personal unioning everyone. You're trying to do this theoretically correct thing, and then it just, it requires, you force closing your game, every month. It's incredibly tedious. And it's one of the reasons I've only ever done, one world conquest thing. At the time, I think it was the best strategy. This was before, hordes were, super good, if I recall correctly, so, at the time, it's what you did if you wanted to do a world conquest. And I wanted to do a one tag, one faith. Or not one tag, World Conquest, one faith. It wasn't one tag, because I had colonial subjects. And the colonial subjects, being wonky is, I think what prevented me from going one faith, because one of them had an exclave, and they can't convert an exclave. So there was, one province in America that couldn't get converted. Because it was an exclave of one colonial nation to another, and I couldn't transfer the states from one colonial nation to another, so literally every province was Protestant or Catholic, I forget which, except for one. Imagine not having 50 saves 10 to 20 years apart for every important event time when playing EU for hard achievements. Yeah. Rightful British clay, not like this. Then you can master hustling for 10,000 hours. Yeah. You can master the grind. I mean, the true mastery of hustle is to just, hustle other people into thinking they just need to try harder, right? That's the pinnacle. That's where you've made it. The real thing to do is just to master the skill of being you just gotta go harder. You gotta want it so bad that you want it more than breathing. And then, just become a public speaker and not actually, accomplish anything but just vibe really hard. Which is, kind of what they do. They're, professional vibers. And, to stoke the whatever in like the self-flagellating people who just like want to hate themselves because they didn't try hard enough or something. I don't know. Great Britain liberated Herat. Is that this? Yeah. Yeah, they liberated it. Huh? Liberated, alright. Are you still monarchy? No, but we're probably gonna get swapped back onto monarchy. Austria can swap us back. Technically, we need to be a monarchy to be the HRE, so we have to keep that in mind. And you might say, hey, it looks like it's really hard to go monarchy, but then you realize, you wake up and the nightmare begins because the laws are flipped. I'm gonna pass one of the wrong laws at least once because of this. I really hate that it gets flipped. It's not a big deal because I don't rev and swap sides often, but like that's what it's from. Yeah, we're just letting the auto queue take over. You ever been to Bosnia, son? You ever been in this shit? I think that, yeah. Can we take Gaza? Probably not. Closer to being able to take Zulu. I think we're gonna need at least a 10er stack, so gotta wait for the Navy to kind of come on up. Philippines wishes to commit itself to our cause, providing us backing when we demand independence. See, I like that idea, but I don't like the, oh, Philippines is independent. Oh, I see. They're not independent. They're subject to Austria. Yeah. I don't want them to declare an independence war and us get sucked into it and then get T-boned. I don't think they're going to be that useful for us. So we're just going to do that. Although, to be fair, the only reason we can't go for independence right now is because we don't have enough liberty desire. Bruh, can you chill out? Power block statue is pretty good for this power block, but I'm not sure we're staying in it, so. The only way I think of to form command economy with low infamy is by going Soviet Empire. Or to form Central Europe. Well, I mean, it's really easy to do low infamy if you do Super Germany, but we can't do Super Germany. I don't think Yugoslavia has a culture that can form Germany. So, currently EU4 world conquests are much easier than they used to. It's not hard to world conquest before 1600. Yeah, because now you do it with a horde, and you just like. When I did it, it was much harder. I also like am not super not in the EU4 streets right now, so yikes. God, this investment pool is even growing too. We need to sell our buildings. Maybe we're just growing our army and navy too fast, too. The construction goods cost is going to go away once we finish this government administration as well. Growth is not even as good as we'd want it to be. Modena left. Get wrecked, idiot. Curious to see what they choose in 11 weeks here. Hoping they choose Construction 1. Would also be okay with Migration 1. It seems that the AI just like randomly picks one. and doesn't actually do any sort of thinking in regards to what it does, but maybe I'm mistaken in this regard. What's your expansion strat for this run? Right now we're kind of peeling off the easy to take stuff that has like gold that's out and about. We've gone for Belungin, we'll go for Brunei later. We've gone for Bahrain. We're gonna go for South Africa, part of the plan. We get prop tax. We can. This will also help out. So, definitely don't want to run this much debt because we have so many government-owned buildings. Really uncomfortable. I wish that the AI was a little bit more aggressive about building the railroads, but it's building in southern Serbia because there's infrastructure there, but it's building into this huge malice. So I'd rather the AI just build railroads. Like, if we were in control of the queue, we'd just build railroads in Bosnia and build there, but sun. I think that since the AI is building in southern Serbia, we're actually gonna change things up a little bit. Police coordination 1. God damn it. I suppose it's not useless because it decreases our bureaucracy costs a little bit. But boy, does that seem super useless for us. Oh, they're in the British. Oh, Great Britain. You're tearing me apart, Great Britain. This is the second run in a row, Finland run as well, where they've gone after Zulu and Gaza, made it impossible for you to go after Transvaal. The AI is learning. Soon it will take over our refrigerators and spoil our milk. The thumb goes in the pie and the spoilage goes in the milk. This is a tragedy in many parts. That's uncomfortable. That's big sad. That ruins our plans for a better world. We might just go after Attica then for the tooling company. Who's Bosnia's son? Bosnia, son? You ever been to Bosnia? You ever been in this shit? It's a Blue Mountain State reference. Well, my dad was. I think you need to update your steel PM. You might be right. I think you're right. Yeah. I remember it not spreading. Why is that? I guess we got coal for the first time. Ooh, yikes. My kingdom for publicly traded. I'd die for publicly traded, to be honest. I think we could probably also use labor saving on tooling workshops, and we could probably do this here. Because we are running out of labor there. And I think we have a steel company, so water tube all around on the steel. Using labor-saving PMs makes it easier for you to get prosperity bonuses. Can we see our established companies? Do we not have established companies? I'm just confusing this with the Finland run. God damn it. We have no established companies, because we don't have laissez-faire or corporate charters. My brain is mush. All the runs just blend together into one abyss. We're spiraling down, deep into the twilight zone. It's all circling. What do we do? Where do we go from here? We just keep invading South Africa every run. Madness. Madness has descended upon Victoria 3. You can only invade South Africa so many times without going insane. Alright. What does publicly traded do exactly? It gets rid of shopkeeper ownership, I think, in favor of capitalists, or it dilutes the shopkeeper ownership. So let's take a look. So we take a look here. Shopkeepers, they have ownership here. Their ownership is not preferable because they only contribute 5% of their income to the investment pool, and they own 1/6 of the ownership in the financial districts. Here, they get eliminated, and so it's 100% capitalist owned, so you get more investment pool. Another pull, of course. Yes. Yes. Are you going to do starting steps videos again? Yes. Yes. Of course. I don't know who's going to be next. We're going to do something with Spain. España. That might be next. I think Spain is the best beginner country. Maybe we violently suppress both these places. Although it looks like they're just building in southern Serbia, so maybe we do this. The thing is, we're totally going to forget. Even though this is optimal, because all of our construction's going there, and we definitely just want to have less of a construction malice, we're just totally going to forget that we did it. But you can see the fact that we have violent suppression on, and also law enforcement, is making it so that we barely have a construction efficiency malice, which is, of course, fantastic for us. And therefore, the rest of the world. We could go after Attica right now, actually. Maybe that's the play. Maybe Russia freaking always protects Greece now. Maybe Russia always protects Greece and we can't do anything. The truth hurts. Okay, so we know we have dying right now, right meow, someone from the petite bourgeoisie, so we can fish around for a petite bourgeoisie guy that has an ideology we like. We don't mind reformer, but that guy's not popular, so he won't replace him. We could clear out these guys and clear out our generals. Yeah, let's do a little bit of a little purge, just the tip. Oh, he's not purgeable. We have to use our big boy cooldown for him. We don't hate market liberals. We hate protectionists. We hate theocrats. Not like this. We don't want to full purge everything, I don't think. Popular theocrats, smell you later. Kick rocks. This guy might become popular. We can't abide by that. Alright, I think we'll just take the random roll then. So this guy's gonna die. We're gonna get a random leader for our... Because we don't have a popular general for our petite bourgeoisie, we will get a random guy. And we get a protectionist. That's not too bad, except for it'll hurt for going laissez-faire. I don't think we're doing that anytime soon, so that's kind of fine. When do you think Paradox will announce a new set of DLC for Vicky 3? Depends what you mean by DLC. I think that a major DLC is going to come next spring. And that before the end of the year, we're going to get patch 1.8, which will include like some flavor pack, similar to like Colossus of the South or whatever, but for a different region. And I think we can expect that maybe in November. Would be my guess. My non-informed guess. Our economy kind of is popping off, but to be fair, I guess the micro we have to do now is we have to watch if more stuff's getting constructed in southern Serbia than Albania. We gotta switch over, or in Albania, then we have to switch over all the decrees to Albania because we have a couple decrees. You could attack Portugal for L-import and then attack Transvaal. This is fair. We have to wait until we're at the... We can maybe do this. We have to... Ooh. I was going to say we have to wait, because Great Britain starts with a defensive pact, but there's no defensive pact here. I think that we're... Can we rumble with Portugal? Portugal's currently occupied. If they were doing the occupying, we could maybe try and subjugate them. I don't think we're big enough. I think... No, we're a minor power. We can't subjugate anything. You think 1.8 will have something paid on it? Like 100%. There's only been a couple patches where they haven't had something paid on it. Like 1.4, 1.6, 1.2? I guess 1.8 is kind of the even ones, if we're thinking about it. 1.2 didn't have anything, 1.4 didn't have anything, 1.6 didn't have anything. These all kind of felt like bridge patches. I think 1.8, they're merging it with like what they were planning for 1.9 and pushing it back. And so I think that there's going to be DLC for it, or like minor DLC. What region would you most likely to like to see get a Colossus South style expansion? So, I mean, the region that I most want to see the resources get updated for is Australia, because it's insane the level of arable land they have. They have like 120 arable land total for all of Australia, which is just stupid. Like there's like Australia's a big place, yo. Like there's no way that it should have that low total arable land. And so whenever they take a look at a region, they rework all the resources too. So I do want to see Australia's resources get reworked. But in terms of like regions, I would want to see more flavor for. I don't know, maybe the Balkans would be neat. I think that they're going to go back to Europe a little bit and do some Germany stuff, which I wouldn't hate. We might see a China patch as well. China's definitely a weird one. Hard to balance correctly. Poor Persia getting wrecked by Kabul. I don't know if we want to form a religious power block when we get free. It's kind of a bit of an interesting one. Make a defensive army. Let's do something like that. We're getting ready to fight Portugal here. I think we actually don't need a 5-stack. I think a 3-stack will do for defense. Portugal's not that strong. It does have the battalions of these guys too, but I think a 3-stack can defend against a 10-stack landing. And we could also go for Macau at the same time here. Oh, we're super okay if they just back down. Guess we take a save in case the UK just goes ballistic. Definitely not something we want. We all know you have spies inside. Who's all we? Spies inside the Paradox headquarters. No, actually, like, they've asked me to, like, do stuff and I've declined because I don't like the language of their NDA. Or it makes me, like, uncomfortable. I'm probably just being, like, a bitch, but, like, they've invited me to, like, see stuff early in regards to, like, flavor, and then, like, be able to give my input on it, and I've declined because... I don't know if we're gonna get one of their incorporated states here. Do they have any of this incorporated? I've declined because the technical language of their NDA is basically like, look, if we show you something or talk about it, you can't discuss it until it's implemented. But the way it's like worded is such that, and if you discuss it within 2 years, we can bop you. Now, I don't think they would bop me. I think that this is unlikely, but the technical like wording is like, if they show me something and then they decide not to implement it, I can't talk about them showing me that thing for 2 years. And I don't like to straight up like lie to chat, and I also think that there's like obvious points at which like if you guys ask me how do I think Paradox is going to rework the Navy, and I've seen something about them reworking the Navy, then I have to respond with, if I don't want to lie, I have to respond with something like, I'm not going to discuss that. But then that reveals, like, technically it wouldn't violate my NDA, but, like, it reveals that they've talked to me about it and that I know something. So it's, like, still information revealing, so it's violating the spirit of the NDA. And so, like, the thing that makes me uncomfortable, though, is if they show me something that they just don't implement, I just can't talk about it for 2 years. And so I kind of only want to see stuff that they're going to implement, and so I'm kind of, like, not interested in, like, hearing about something and then, like, having it not get implemented and then being asked, well, what do you think about, you know, them reworking the MAPI system? And then, like, it's like, I can't discuss that, like, or I can't give my opinion on it anymore. Or if I gave my opinion on it, it would be, like, violating the spirit of the NDA, which I don't want to do either. So, I choose to have less information about the game than I otherwise could. Who sided with you? Why'd you get cocky? Why'd you get cocky, bruh? Because you finished the rev, huh? Still think we win this, but... I suppose if we get absolutely dicked down, we would reload, but... The AI is just not very good at defending their overseas stuff. Why are they in Arabia, bro? Alright, fair enough. Looks like you made some progress since last stream. A little bit of progress. Still struggling a little bit. Economy's coming along. We really need to be able to privatize buildings. We have a huge investment pool. And so now we just have to idle and let the private queue decide our fate. Big sag on that, but... Whoa. Why is that so much infamy? Is that incorporated? It is incorporated. Is it worth? Is it worth that much infamy? I mean, either way, we're going to go for war reparations because we're going to take that. Because it's incorporated, so we can land that to enforce war reparations. And the war reps are going to be primary. We could liberate UA with the idea that we conquer UA later. I don't know if we conquer it, it counts as a treaty port anymore, though. I guess I'm curious how that works, so we're gonna do it for the sake of curiosity. Playing as the USA, how do I win the game? You're already winning, my friend. You just spread freedom to the rest of the world. Is there a public estimation of the next update? I mean, I think the next update's... They've stated that they want it to be before the end of the year. I think it's going to be shortly before the end of the year. So when you said I can't give my opinion on that, it means it's happening or was planned to happen. Or was discussed but then dropped entirely and I can't talk about it for 2 years. Yeah, that's... When I say I can't talk about it, that's like... when I got early access to 1.7, I just categorically responded to every question with, I can't talk about it. Which is nice, because then, like, even if it was something I could talk about it, I just say I can't talk about it, because I'm not talking about anything. Right? So, like, when I'm operating at that level, the NDA is, like, not, like, that painful, and the only thing that I'm guaranteed, when I get early access to the patch, I'm guaranteed once the patch comes out, I can talk about whatever I want. But when I go to, like, one of the meetings when they're showing some stuff on the game, I have no such guarantee, and I could just be stuck not being able to talk about something for 2 years. And where if I accidentally talk about something, I would be in violation of my NDA. And I don't think they would come after me, but, like, that's, yeah. Can't wait for auto trading stuff. That's so annoying to do, right? Can't talk about it. That's, of course, a joke, by the way. No real way to even win the game? What do you mean? NDA sounds like a constant balancing act. I mean, I think the reality is I'm just, like, it makes me more nervous than it should, and I should just, like, they're only gonna come after me if I do something egregious. And, like, they just have that in place to, like, cover their own ass more than anything else. And also, it would cost them more in lawyers' fees than they would be able to extract from me anyways. You should really be able to privatize stuff to your own pops only. I don't know. These guys are our overlords. And when you form an investment agreement, like, that's the game, baby. So... So we're just going to occupy all of this, and then we're going to occupy this, and we should be able to get everything. We should be able to get the bag. And Portugal's got to, they got to know that their time is up. I guess we didn't even need to mobilize the conscripts, but here we are. It's possible we should have gone for Zambezia as well. I think this is fine, though. We're just gonna grab all this. So they don't assign someone to the front here. We just want to kill the fronts. And then we have we're defending Bosnia, son. Which, considering they only have the 3-stack navy, should be fine. Now, did we get teleported? Yes, we did. Back to the... We had to go back to the beach here. It's so frustrating that this army was in South Africa, and now it's not. Because now it takes like twice as long. I really want the military system to be good with the fronts. I like the idea of the fronts rather than having armies in specific states. But man, oh man, stuff like this is just like, we get teleported back. Now, it doesn't matter here because we just win this war no matter what. But like, when it causes you to lose a war, it's incredibly frustrating. To be fair, you can abuse the AI like when this happens, but like it's like it doesn't feel like a proper simulation of something that's going on. Have you ever been to Bosnia, son? You ever been in this shit? Well, my dad was. Do you read fantasy novels? Not very often. I read mostly nonfiction. So when you told me about the secret alien invasion DLC and private messages, you were violating. Shh. I didn't say anything about a secret alien. Won't an NDA all limit what you can wish for in the new update? Say if chat asks you what your hopes are for the new update, but you already know what it's going to contain. Well, so, like, technically it doesn't, but, like, in the spirit of the NDA, like, the way I would talk about something would be, like, revealing information. Like, it's really hard to not reveal information. And not reveal information in a way such that it would count as violating the NDA, but it violates, like, the spirit of the NDA. Which is why I just went completely dark on Vic 3 when I had early access. Right? Like, I just didn't talk at all about it, categorically, which is probably overkill. That's probably just me being too anal about, like, the entire thing. And they would probably rather me, like, keep streaming Vic 3, even when I'm, like, yo dogs, like... I think we go for Iron Company. Just the classic. Stick with the classics here. We do have iron in our country, so... We wouldn't hit the productivity, but I think that... Oh, looks like we would hit productivity bonus. But once we hit that, we could probably just export as well. Let's do French and Ottomans. That seems fine. I lost to Mexico's USA. Should I uninstall? No, but you should probably start over. Having to move off laissez-faire for foreign investment, foreign ownership sucks ass. Yeah, it's definitely... For specifically investing in foreign countries, yeah, I really wish I could choose to only sell to my guys if I did it. Austria's capitalists should be busy privatizing their stuff. It's only because the AI sucks that their IP becomes huge. This is true. If the AI was strong, if Austria had a reasonable amount of construction, I wouldn't have to worry about this, but... Austria can already build in your country, and you won't know, they just don't do it. Well, first of all, they do it a little bit. Didn't want to click that. Actually, no, they bought that one, but they will do it. But they will build in your country. They just like prioritize their own country, and if you give investment rights, people will build in your country if yours is the most profitable. But often, if you're running out of labor, yours is not the most profitable because you have to pay more to like the laborers. Wait. Oh my god. I just want to, like, use this to pay off this. One 1.0 had general teleportation. 1.7 just has teleportation. Yeah. It's like, it's not a big deal here, because we win this war either way. But it does mean we have to pay for our military for a longer period of time. Like, it's not like 0, but like There's a symmetry here, because the AI gets teleported as well, but now we're playing around teleportation, which is like, it doesn't feel good. So, now we have all the war goals here. We're just gonna go back in case we need our army. I think it's really unlikely we need our army, but... Dark Ages of generalist content before 1.7. True. I really hate the front system right now. The never-ending front in Russia constantly moves, and troop teleportation just sucks. Yeah, well, so I think they've made that better, specifically on the latest patch. The, like, not sticking to the front as well, specifically in Russia and Canada, where it's, like, really bad. But, like... I feel like I have to micro really hard on the armies. And the entire point is to have 0 micro of the system, and so I don't think the system achieves its desired goal. The desired outcome. We're hemorrhaging money. We probably should not be paying for these unis. We used the unis to get the Intelligentsia powerful enough to pass, like, because we wanted to pass a specific law, but we're past that point now, so... We're probably... The second we do that, rural folk become influential. Let's take a look at Intelligentsia's clout after we deleted. Yeah, look at this. Still not that bad, though. We're not going to try and land Portugal, because we're never winning into a 16 stack. Tank sauce. Hey, have you ever thought about playing Greece to restore Byzantium? I've got news for you. We've done Greece into Byzantium before, with a nice big Byzantium over the middle of the Mediterranean, where we not only restored Byzantium, we restored entirely every single province on the coast of the Mediterranean. What's up with that thick Egypt? Ottoman's getting scuffed up. But Egypt do be looking thick right now. Yeah, they took a bite out of Tripoli. And then the rest of Tripoli rebelled and joined Hejaz, so it's also a bit of a vibe, huh? Who's that Pokemon? I don't know. We have 0 infamy though. What do we gotta do something. We gotta do something about that. I hate going for Macron to get an interest in Persia, or I guess it'd be North India. Kind of want a native Persia interest. Don't really want to go for Oman, unless they've already ditched Zanzibar. Oh, they didn't ditch Zanzibar. Great Britain just had no chill. This will give us an interest. What we care about here is getting the native interest into Persia. Police coordination too. That's so useful. It's not. That's the joke. Did they just back down? Sweet. Great Ching. No thanks. I guess Transvaal's next, huh? So maybe we just gotta wait this war out. Economy is really popping off, though. So, I think we build into, like, kind of the problem we have here. We also still have the army mobilized. We can demobilize, but then we can't remobilize for an extended period of time. I think we just wait through this. Ugh. Russia's really likely to side with them, so we'll just leave that alone. I wish the Roman Empire is in this game. You can play as Rome. If you play as the Papal States and you form a republic, it'll be the Roman Republic. I think if you do monarchy, it's the Roman Empire. Hot damn. Are we ready for the change? You mean we're extracting wealth from the richest people now? Oh, this feels so good. That's what I'm talking about. Someone asked, hey Willis, what are you talking about? That's what I'm talking about. Don't just talk about it, be about it. Enact universal suffrage movement. See, I want to do this. I guess I'm probably gonna do this, but we know what happens next. Of course, the trade unions being happy is super nice, but we know what happens next. We know what happens after we go universal suffrage. Austria wrecks us by enforcing government types on us. Real? I guess you should have taken a closer look at that. I didn't think the Industrialists were going to go to Rev mode. Ooh, cautious leader. Kind of want to reload, because canceling this will make the people really mad. Let's just cancel. Let's not reload. But this increases the radicalism and stuff. We can't go for it for a while, but we will go for it eventually. I guess we'll probably actually just abdicate to this movement if it becomes insurrectionary, and that'll be fine for us. Alright, well we don't want to abdicate this guy out. So let's do this. Let's maybe do this. Let's make sure we have resign from office cooldown. We do. We could, in theory, try and go Council Republic here. So if the trade unions were more powerful than, oh, these guys don't like Council Republic anyways. It doesn't matter. Well, we could exile. In theory, we could try and get Council Republic by making the cloud of these guys higher than the cloud of these guys, and also exiling this agitator, but that just seems like a lot of work. We're just going to resign from office here. Maybe we wait. Oh, I think we wait until we get Transvaal. That way we can get a bunch of rid of a bunch of the turmoil in Transvaal. Yeah, okay. I like this. Oh, Kurt. I guess we also gotta see, hey, is Great Britain gonna help you? No, they're not. Okay, cool. Yeah. Maybe there's a dream. No, we're never gonna get these guys above 10, and these guys like low enough. Yeah, I don't think that happens here. So now Yue will be liberated. Ugh, this is going to be a lot of infamy. And now they will not back down. We will send. And we'll never have to deal with the Shadow Remover because we got Portugal's stuff instead of Gaza. Hot damn. When you have a hammer. Yeah, sure. I think now, also add a construction sector or two. And then we abdicate to the Rev after we acquire Transvaal. Oh, we set these guys as well. Just make extra sure. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. This is feeling so good. Can you reach #1 great power with this? Yeah, probably, but I'm not sure if we can, if we'll be able to do HRE. This start feels a little scuffed. So, why aren't you building stuff? I am letting the private queue utilize all the construction. The construction's still getting utilized. You can see 100% of the construction is getting utilized by the private queue. The big reason why is the investment pool is huge. I'm trying to drain it out. So this is why we added more construction and then we're letting it idle. So we're letting it idle because we're trying to drain this out. A big part of why we have to do this is because we have to be on interventionism. So only 50% of the queue is going to be privately allocated instead of 75%. And we have to not privatize any of our buildings. So we have a bunch of government-owned buildings that the private queue otherwise would buy, and we can't put these up for privatization, otherwise Austria will buy them because Austria is our overlord. So it's a little bit of an awkward situation, but when you're playing as a subject, you often go interventionism and you let the queue idle a lot in order to try and make use of the investment pool to try and drain it out. And so this is going to be preferable for us. We're going to add some more construction too. But then we're just going to let it idle. AI can be a little bit bad about building infrastructure, which is kind of unfortunate. It looks like they're kind of keeping it up. And then once we annex this, we'll abdicate to the Rev. Oh no, not my come drop buttons. But yeah, it's definitely intentional. This reminds me of the Krakow run where Austria kept enforcing government. Yeah, I'm still waiting for the shoe to drop on that one. Like, I think we're gonna go universal suffrage, use our abdicate cooldown, and then lose our all of our progress, basically, in terms of passing laws. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do exactly in terms of, like, this, like, weird metagame where we care about this type of thing. Austria might accept. Please, I'd rather you didn't. Son of a bitch. Now we abdicate so that we can reduce all the level of radicalization and therefore turmoil here. So, resign from office. We are helpless. We will pass presidential republic. Not preferable, and universal suffrage. Fine. But our cautious boyo becomes the leader. I'm not sure this is a 5-year incorporation. It is. We currently can't colonize. As soon as we colonize, we can't incorporate, but happy days. Gaza and Zulu are likely to side against us, but I don't think we care about that. Let's make sure we have a port here. We do not. But notice, turmoil here, not so bad. It's not like 70% like it was. To be fair, it's still pretty high. We probably don't want to be doing the edicts here anymore. Okay, we're gonna get rid of 2 of the edicts here. Alright, I think that's fine. I think we do want to declare war before the next election, so we can make use of this guy giving us minus 20% infamy generation. That's a car. Least cursed Balkan border? You mean you like staring into the abyss? You are getting sleepy. The circle is circling. We are spinning out of control. The descent into madness continues as we continue with a run where the goal of the run is probably not achievable. Is there a way to make the protectionist intelligentsia happy? Well, we don't want to. We wanted them to rev. Hello, Father. Hello, Kiko. Do you have max trade with everyone you can with? Not really. To be fair, we're not microing trade as hard as we should be. When you have an overlord, they kind of trade well enough for you. I suppose, specifically, we are exporting iron in some spots. We could export to Qing as well. Which is what we have a company for, so. For whom the bell tolls, it tolls for thee. Okay, so now we know that our leader of the landowners is going to die, so if there's a popular landowner, he's going to become the leader. I think we would prefer market liberal over anything else, so we'll just take a peek under the hood and see if there's a market liberal we could maybe recruit. Just taking a peek, see. Had some stuff. Don't want to use up too much bureaucracy taking a look, but I think we'll just be fine with this. We get a Democrat. Interesting. This is way more legitimate. Cute. We, of course, don't want to pass laissez-faire yet. Is there a war that we wanted to side with the UK with so they couldn't side against us on it? What happens if we go after Cape Colony's stuff? We can't because we have good relations with the UK, okay. UK, I think auto joins even if we do the thing. I'm not 100% sure how that works, though. Who doesn't remember Bosnian Transvaal? I remember it. Cautious boyo. You just need to try harder? Yeah, basically. Just need to try harder to achieve the goal. I was talking about the guy, asking to trigger corn laws about trading. If you export a bunch of grain, it helps. We gotta wait to decay down a little bit before going after them. But then we'll be in really good shape. Approaching like 100 construction. This session we've like doubled GDP. The next company might be gold. That way we can overcome penalties. I think we also want nitro for the resource discovery chance. The fact that it pulls us in is so weird. Oh, good luck, UK. We're not gonna help you. Godspeed. I don't know if the AI can manage that. But notice, we're getting minus 20% cost off of our cautious boyo. He's our favorite. And we're not sure, since we have Presidential Republic, we can't force him to be in charge, so we're not sure if he actually ends up being in charge. We're going to bring both of our armies in case we have two fronts. Great Shing sides with Bhopal. Shaozhou Treaty Port. Oh my god. Are they doing it? Are they doing it, Peter? You're doing it, Peter. You're flying. Bruh. I don't think I've seen this before, where all of India decides, hey, you know what? Fuck you, UK. Get the hell out of here. Is the Raj in here? Bruh, they're all getting independence. This is so prime. You could take the kids. Journalist, I'm in a moving car. You're making me dizzy. I'm making you dizzy, you say? Look deeply into the spiral. Spiral deeper. Deeper and deeper into the dizziness. You're not in a car anymore. You're in the descent. The descent into madness. Bosnia and Beijing? Not yet. They're gonna lose? Really? You think the UK wins? AI is notoriously bad at executing overseas wars. I mean, I think a human player with the UK with skirmish infantry versus all these line infantry dudes probably wins, right? But, like, the front spaghetti, not enough spagooties, more armies on behalf of these guys. I mean, I think the UK loses this. We're just going to capitulate out immediately. Great Britain decides they do not want to help spread the knowledge of skirmish infantry. Seems smart. I can get behind that plan. That seems reasonable. We get a new president. He's not going to be a cautious boyo. I have a sneaking suspicion. In fact, he's an imposing boyo. No, not like this. This is the problem with democracy, everyone. This is the problem with Presidential Republic. This is why Presidential Republic sucks booty. God damn it. Path to liberalism. Okay, cool. Can we get rid of imposing? That'd be great. Also, it'd be great if we could change his ideology. We don't really like it. Yeah, sure. Miss the good old days where you could use a radical to pass multiculturalism. Them's were the days. Albania. go. It's gonna be a little bit painful for a hot second. Well, that's neat. It's good for us. Except we don't have, oh, we can't slot in the, we can't slot in the lemma. Oh, what am I saying? We have demarginalized dudes. We have demarginalized trade unions. We've seen this war a couple times since 1.7, but I always see Great Britain win this. Really? We get police coordination 3, which is useless. This looks pretty bad for them. I mean, I think that... Like, I think UK wins if China's not in there. China's in there. Are all the war goals for independence? Nothing stupid like war reps? Revoke claim, increase autonomy. Yeah, nothing stupid. I don't think revoke claim requires occupation of the capital. I think we could just stay in there to make UK like us more, but makes China dislike us, so maybe it's not worth. Let's incorporate Albania. At this point, really big come up. Oh, going after South Africa, baby. Who would have thought? God, this game is... Give me another play pattern, please. I want to feel alive again. Maybe we'll try out that wizard mod, because I have no idea where's a good place to expand in the wizard mod. But this is just like, we know it's correct, we go for it, instant reward. Well, to be fair, taking anything that was a substantive amount would have been good, so like maybe I'm just being stupid, but... Wait, why are they at 0 already? Oh, Shazhou Treaty Port might qualify as stupid. Why are you at 0 already, my guy? UK really wins this? That's insane. We are, by the way, not helping them, but... I think we'll incorporate this, too. Yeah, dude, they just get enforced out one at a time? Bro. That's incredible. Okay, they got that. They got that. So the UK can get enforceable 0 here. We do have enough authority. We have it on good authority. We have authority. Add a consumption tax. Zombie. Okay. Well, I mean... Is Bhopal anywhere close to getting... Occupied. Are they even occupiable? Are they in a pocket? You forgot about the inverted laws? Yeah. Inverted laws do be painful. Hey Alexander, how's it going? Taking South Africa every single game is heaps of fun. What are you talking about? I'm talking about the sorrow inside our soul. As we descend into madness, the spiral of doom, the being nauseous inside your car because you're watching on your phone on your car, as you spiral downward and downward into the abyss of Victoria 3 meta, as you realize there's no escaping the spiral of doom. You spin deeper and deeper into the sorrows of going for South Africa every game and also getting Brunei every game because this is the only thing you can do because it's the best. Alright. Speaking of, maybe we should go for Brunei. God, that actually made me a little nauseous. Maybe I should stop doing that. I think we do not want to take on a little bit of cost because we're kind of hemorrhaging money. Although we're hemorrhaging money because we're actively constructing. Our investment pool is also draining at the same time. Maybe we overbuilt construction. Maybe 100 construction's a bridge too far, huh? Perhaps. Dude, I think they're doing it. Some of them are getting an independence here, it looks like. They're doing it, Peter. You're a wizard, Harry. Too late for India implosion. Sag. I mean, this is kind of similar. Casualties? Yeah, we can take a look. I assume the UK has less. Oh wow, it's similar. And they've paid more. Fuck you with that spinning thing and mocking me for getting Disney. We've been spinning all stream. What spreadsheets do to a man, basically. The descent into madness is nearly complete. One of these days I just need to like have a spreadsheet open but be playing the game and like have it be like a meme, like I don't even need the game to play the game, I'm just playing the spreadsheet. Maybe that's a little too deep. That's probably too deep. That's just funny for the regulars. People who have never seen anything of my content before will come in and be like, what the fuck is going on here? India not imploding. My immersion. I'm now home, it still makes you dizzy though. Made me a little dizzy on that last one. Send you a friend request just to say F you in your DMs. Get in line, buddy. We're getting those types of DMs all the time. Although, like, more seriously, like, the video game, YouTube channel, like, gets like nothing but positive like reinforcement, and it's so like wild because like the ideas channel is like I get like 50% negative comments, and then like the like lifting channel I get like 80% negative comments, just like overwhelmingly negative. So I'm like, and those channels I did before the video game channel, I'm like going into this I was so much more used to like the negative comments. I mean, I still get some on the video game channel, but they're so rare. And usually it's like someone saying I'm wrong when I'm not. Well, actually, when someone says I'm wrong and I am wrong, I just don't interpret that as a negative comment. But usually the people who are nasty about telling me I'm wrong are like actually not correct as well. We really want our next company to be the gold company. We don't have the thing yet though. Kind of tempted to go steel. Oh, we don't even have a high enough level steel place? Yeah, I guess we're not doing that then. Let's just check all our PMs, because very often stuff gets scuffed at some point. Oh, the dream. The dream is dead. They were so close. Oh, they're so close. The dream of a better tomorrow. Are we draining the investment pool finally? Yeah, we are. We're actually draining it at a decent clip, thank God. I guess some people might get independence here. Yeah. The good old, like, you need the British Raj to have access to us, eat shit. Yeah, good luck taking Tibet. So Adwa's probably... Oh, they do have a front with Adwa. How'd they get the front with Adwa? Did they enforce military access on the Raj? I guess they did. I guess they're just gonna get the bag. Other than the treaty port. The treaty port's going to China, man. France was in that war. Oh, no. Okay, okay. We're fine. I thought France was in the war on the other side. We did not want to stay in the war if France was in the war on the other side. That's, like, not what we were trying to do. Good. Where's the political movement, though? We really want to get rid of this guy. He's, like, severely cramping our infamy decay. We can't, though. God. Unless... Bro, we might be going back to monarchy just so we can get off of monarchy. I think we might have our monarchy abdication cooldown just to get rid of this idiot. Like, I guess we have to wait until after public health insurance is out, but I think the plan is to go monarchy to get rid of this idiot because we don't have another good way to get rid of the idiot. I guess, well, we kind of do. We can promote to government. I don't think you could exile the president. So, like, I think if we did this and then we went to, like, exile a dissident, yeah, you can't exile the president. To be fair, he's gonna lose the next election, though. Right? No, he might not. The Liberal Party might still win. Jesus. I hate discrimination. I want to stick my fingers in all these juicy agitators, but I can't. He sheds too hard, makes the other mad. Wait, why are the weightlifting comments negative? Oh, like they don't... I do a lift called the bent press, which, like, people just call me a moron for doing. It's a lift to get weight overhead with one arm. I guess we could show chat. But they also, like, call me fat and stuff. And they're like, maybe you should go on a run, or, like, what's the point in doing that when you, like, should be doing cardio, like, fatty or whatever. And so, like, that's just what goes on, man. I guess we'll show our heaviest bent press. Here. Give me 1 sec. But, like, I don't know. That's just like what it is. It do be like that. I don't think we could play that. So we gotta mute it because copyright. But this is 200 pounds. And the idea is I'm gonna get it overhead with one hand. And people are just like, oh, you're gonna throw out your shoulder, you're gonna throw out your spine, you're an idiot, you're a moron, like this type of stuff. And it's like, occasionally I engage with them and I'm like, okay, do you have experience with the bent press? And like, they never respond. Or like, what literature have you read on the lift? And it's like, absolutely nothing. Like, so, it's like, you shouldn't, like, if someone's critical of you and you wouldn't go to them for advice, like, you shouldn't, like, care about their opinion, just generally speaking. And, like, the people who are, like, being critical of me, like, don't know this lift at all, so. What's the best way to quickly reevaluate PMs and trade routes? It's less evaluation and more just kind of knowing, like, what's gonna be good already. And then if the price, I guess you reevaluate based on, like, price, but, like, it's more like, if the price is insane relative to, like, what you know it should be, like, because you know the PM's very efficient. If a PM's, like, super efficient, and then the price is not, like, really low, then, and you maybe have a company, then you know, that you have to do something. Like, so for example, we have a company, like we have an iron company, and then if we take a look at our iron price is kind of cheap. If our iron price wasn't cheap, and we had an iron company, boy oh boy do we blast iron, because iron already has an efficient PM, but on top of having an efficient PM, the fact that we have a company makes it so that, like, yeah, we really want to just kind of, like, blast it. But, like, hardwood being cheap, this makes sense. This being cheap can make sense, especially if you go steel. So, like, the stuff being cheap, like, this is probably too cheap. I don't know what's going on here. But we also have a company for lead, so that might be what's going on there. And then you look at the stuff being expensive, and you're like, should this be expensive? And it's like, these are expensive. And the auto queue is not building more furniture, and this type of stuff is an indication that we probably have really cheap luxuries and we can make use of trading these, although it looks like maybe not so much. Porcelain was cheap in our market, really can't quite make use of it. So with split goods, you generally want the prices to be similar, so this is like something you could do to reevaluate. We're not hyper microing the trade though. I mean, we could be going harder in this paint, but we're trying to progress the run, and so, like, this is a strong indication that we should be building more wood. I think that what we've done is, in the capital, we have the wood on hardwood prioritization, and since it's split between the two, like, in terms of, these are, like, equally efficient, if I recall correct, or no, wait. Yeah, I think these are equally efficient, just one produces all softwood, so that switch should make our auto queue better, and should make wood a little bit cheaper, because you generally want hardwood and softwood to be the same price, but that's not a trade question, right? But, yeah, looking for split goods that are cheaper than they should be, and then you'll also have an opportunity to, like, export. Oh, this is one of the reasons why our trade routes suck, huh? Because we use whatever Austria's export-import strategy is, we use that, and so we would prefer free trade and export prioritization. That's one of the reasons we actually can't import and export that hard. I love you, man. Thank you. Sumo wrestlers are also fat, yet their hearts beat too slow. Me when I don't understand the human body and hate for hating. Sumo wrestlers are incredibly explosive athletes. I followed sumo for a while. There are also some really tiny guys in sumo. Do you believe in our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ? I do not. I do not. Well, I believe that Jesus existed as a man, and he walked the earth. I guess, but I don't believe he's my Lord and Savior. I guess we'll probably pass Freedom of Conscience next. It's not really useful to us, relative to Total Separation, though. Why is this guy doing this to us? The positivist. No, not my gumdrop buttons. We'll have to try and pass something that they would like. That kind of sucks. I mean, actually, we can just let, we could let Austria clap them, right? Because we do have a... It looks like they're just taking one thing with them. That's, like, not even that bad. So I guess we just let that rev pop. Before there was a Philosopher's Stone, now there's a Philosopher's Shred. Damn, that looked clean. That looked dangerous, but cool. Yeah. Thank you, thank you. But that's an example of something where I get a lot of negative comments on. Also for just being overweight, but... Are you going to form HRE this run? That's the goal. I don't know if it's possible. I think our start was a little bit slow. I don't know if we pull it out. We're also having trouble getting free from Austria. Especially because they're willing to give us support regime. Oh, now they won't. Perfect. But this is going down at a decent clip. They're giving us knowledge sharing, which is like kind of obnoxious. We're maybe at a point where we want to build up to 5 unis, actually. It's gonna be so expensive to actually build these unis, though. Yeah, because we'll get the minus 22k or whatever, but... No, actually, I don't think we can afford this. I think this is... I think we barely afford this construction right now. We really need to get our industries privatized, so we need to get independent. Join the Spaghetti Monsters. Gets asked religious question, immediately thinks about removing state religion. Yeah, I mean, I'm an atheist, but I'm not like a militant atheist. I'm not an evangelizing atheist. I think people should be allowed to believe what they want to believe. I do want to do the gold company. We don't have that just quite yet. It's probably worth it to slot in another company. Do we have enough wood for the wood company to be really good? The coal company is probably not terrible. I kind of want to do the steel company, but we don't have enough for the steel company. Let's just do this company. I don't know. Hopefully it'll be good. Gonna play Rocket League by father. Godspeed. HRE is definitely doable, but it require playing till near end, I think. Yeah, also, but like... you gotta filter it through, like... I do not play, like, theoretically close to optimal while playing on stream as well. Like, I'm not, like, hyper sweating, like, the trade, every trade route. Like, I'm not, like, the hyper sweat playstyle is, like, less interesting to watch, I think. And I have to talk to chat less, and I have to concentrate harder. Like, I think it's theoretically possible, but it's, like, a bit of a stretch. It helps a lot if, like, if the GP's kind of founder. They were, like, really cranking up. I guess they're kind of stalling out now, which is going to be good for us. It also might not be possible low infamy, but doable with high infamy. Which we don't like to play high infamy, but I don't know. This is going to be the super swimming in, maybe, so... Godspeed, Kiko. Can you explain the selling goods and why max amount is mostly capped at 160 and trade competitiveness? Trade competitiveness makes it so that if multiple people are running trade routes, your trade routes go first, so you get the better, like, price differential, is my understanding. But I don't have a super good grasp of, like, the various cascading effects of trade route competitiveness, or exactly, like, super precisely how it works. This is something that I've needed to take a closer look at for some time. But the capped at 160 probably has to do with you doing land trade, and that being your land trade cap. It goes to your land trade cap, and then it doesn't want to use the convoys. So, like, we're using convoys here, but, like, we're not using any convoys here, so you're probably just hitting your land trade capacity. What is this, dude? Are these our trade routes? Why the frick do we have so many in the UK? Did we do this? I don't think we did this. Oh my god. The Rev did all these trade routes. The Rev. We didn't put any of these trade routes, and you don't start out with all these trade routes. The Revolution did all these trade. Jesus. Oh. We're wasting so much money on bureaucracy. That makes so much sense, though. I was like, man, it feels like we have to build so much bureaucracy. But we would not have made that mistake if we were sweating harder. So, guess we'll get our institutions now. I mean, we could go total separation. Total separation is like giving us access to agitators is actually just going to be better. Why Bosnia? Because we can go Muslim HRE. Is Blue Mountain State worth watching? It's okay. I mean, it's really slapsticky. The guy who plays Jack Reacher, in like the more recent Jack Reacher, he plays a character called Thad Castle that's absolutely hilarious. I would more maybe just recommend watching like compilations of like funny moments on YouTube. But Bosnia has Muslim religion at the start? Yes. Is there Will Be Blood your favorite movie? No, it's not my favorite. Drainage, though. I actually haven't even seen it. I've just seen clips of it. I should watch the whole movie through. Or I've seen parts of it, too. But how can I move from a land to land trade to convoy if it brings more amount? Well, you gotta build more convoys. 350 extra? Why are the laws in the wrong order? When you rev and you swap sides, the laws flip. And we revved with the intention of fighting the Rev and having Ottomans fight it for us. And then Austria sided with the revolution in exchange for become subject, and so we had to swap sides. So now this is the soup we're swimming in. I think we just go total separation. It's going to make so much stuff easier down the line, and it's going to get rid of this revolution anyway. Yeah. It'll make the industrialists happy, and like, yeah. Also, Sunni kind of just sucks in terms of game mechanics. Not saying something about IRL religion. I didn't know Reacher was in it. I gotta watch some clips then. That's funny. Yeah, you ever been to Bosnia, son, is reference to Blue Mountain State. You ever been to Bosnia? You ever been in this shit? But his character is absolutely hilarious. Taswana Secession is gonna be annoying. Please don't take Lorenco marks. Leave us the ingress so that we can put down this revolution. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Our investment pools is getting closer and closer to being drained. So the fact that we're making money is not an indication we can add more spending. Although we can delete a bunch of government administrations. Feels stupid to do, but that might actually be what's optimal here. Nitro is going to be so nice once we research it. Hopefully we'll discover a bunch more gold. There's so much gold here to discover. Yeah, I remember you mentioning the Bosnia scene. Something reminded me that I planned on watching it. Yeah, the character he plays is like very dissimilar from Jack Reacher too, but it's like he's just absolutely hilarious. It's like, it's difficult to describe Thad Castle in a short little thing. We see our autocue is starting to pick up some coal mines now that we have a company. And the coal mines are going to be, like, the fact that we have a construction malice, like here, but then we have a company bonus, really overcomes the construction malice by a large margin. So it's going to allow us to build in, specifically for the iron and the coal, it's going to allow us to build in that region really, really well. We low roll that, huh? Oh, is that useful for us? Not really. The total separation will be, kind of. Total separation, especially once we get multiculturalism, will be useful. I don't think we're that close to that, though. God, we really gotta get some unis. I think a level 5 to 10 uni is gonna be the next thing we spend on. Are there differences between religious and devout bonuses in game? Are the only differences between religions and the devout bonuses in games, of course? Well, I mean, it affects what pops you accept, which is substantive as well. Right? It also... I mean, that's the main ones. It affects what pops you accept and the IG bonuses. There's also, like, a tiny little bit in that you have to be Catholic to get the bonus from... the Vatican. Otherwise you don't get the authority and influence. You just get the devout political strength. So, in theory, Catholic is best. In some sense. ChatGPT 5 is gonna automate video game playing and then we'll have to quit Victoria 3. Why not get schools? Because we got stuff to do. We also didn't have public schools until... the potential to go public schools until recently. I'm not even 100% sure we have empiricism. Oh yeah, we have state religion, so we can't go public schools. Taboos? Yes, taboos is another thing. Yeah, like, Muslims, like, bad in-game, like, because of taboos, and also because 20% conversion kind of just sucks. So... Cape Colony, stop it. We have so many laws we want to pass. Maybe we actually want to float authority instead of collecting taxes. I think not, but it's possible. Nice little luck sack. We're going to use our one time here. We've been bad about using our one time. We're going to use it here. We do have to end the stream on time today, though, because planning on recording a podcast. After this. How do you reduce port connections? So if we build a bunch in... If you build more closer to your market capital, you will pay less on port connections. So if we centralize more of our building here, where our market capital is, this will cost less port connections. You can also go after the canals, which will decrease the number of nodes you guys have to go through in order to get there. You can also move your market capital if it gets really overwhelming. Like the UK, in theory, often you want to move your market capital at some point because you start on an island. Where is the action? State actions? No, it's not. So moving your market capital can be useful. You can only move to incorporated state, though. So, for example, if we conquered Persia and mainly built in Persia and most of our stuff was in Persia, it would make sense to move our market capital there. There's a few other things you can do to decrease port connections. I think there's some power block stuff and some company stuff, but that's like somewhat self-explanatory when you see the modifier. Dialectics. Maybe it's just dialectics. Actually, let's go Quinine. Law enforcement is going up. It's going to be nice. We have a lot of places with somewhat high turmoil. Oh, it also gives us authority per level? Bro. I forgot. That's fair. That's fair. It's also giving us authority per level, so... we definitely just want to max out law enforcement then. I forget. I don't think it's as good as vassalization, but... it does work out. It's possible we should have just gone freedom of conscience to get the radicals reduction, though. From satisfying a movement. Instead of going something else that they would approve of. Really? I guess it's the trade unionists. Mamma mia, it's a mass migration. So we're gonna swap to losing money soon, because our investment pool's almost drained. Jones, do you think it's possible to get to #1 GP as every nation by 1936? If not, which nations do you think is not possible in? So the main heuristic is how quickly you can get to not being landlocked. Anyone who starts with coastal access, you could probably get #1 by the game's end. And so the ones that would be tricky are maybe Native American territory, Aikicha, and these states. Can they get to #1 GP by the end of the game? I mean, I think Native America... so I think Aikicha and Native Americans, you can re-roll this a ton. It depends if your question is, like, within the context of having to re-roll a lot. But eventually you can get a really good start with the Native American territories where, like, you get the perfect, like, revolution, and you end up getting Texas, and it's not too bad. And Aikicha, you could probably declare on Peru, Bolivia relatively early, and then get Brazil to side with you or something like this. And that leaves these guys. And I don't know what the timeline for them getting to the coast is. Their technology really sucks too. But they might not be able to get to the coast fast enough to really utilize their infamy decay to build up a large enough power base to be able to really go after people. Because you don't necessarily have to grow to be the #1 spot if you just kneecap other people down from what would be the #1 spot. Right, if you release Occitania from France and you, like, take 3 states off of Great Britain and, like, you release Ukraine or whatever, like, if you don't necessarily have to be huge yourself if you just rumble with the GPs. You probably can in theory. I don't know practically speaking how easy it would be to do with these guys. These guys might be the hardest. In theory, couldn't any nation use the GP to kneecap the #1 GP? Yeah. Passing everyone up versus kneecapping everyone down is also like a different proposition. I found a way to get it coast to Kagwe is about 8 years. Then it's probably doable with Kagwe. Africa start is tough, yeah. Should I incorporate Indian and Chinese conquered lands? If you're floating excess bureaucracy often, other than that, it depends on the province. Beijing can be often worth incorporating because it has a really good company, and Forbidden City bonus is a little bit better. But it depends, like, what percentage of your bureaucracy it would take to incorporate the next marginal thing, and like the cost of the bureaucracy relative to the size of your economy. If you're really small, it's not worth it. For us, it would not be worth it. Yeah, we're getting quite a bit from government dividends. God, we hate to see it. But like one of the biggest reasons to incorporate is the throughput. Let's find something of ours that's not incorporated. Or sorry, not the throughput, the mapping. So this should be 85, but we're getting a minus 10% from unincorporated state, so this is gonna hurt prices. But if you're not building a lot in the overseas territory yet, it doesn't make that big a difference. Virtually everything with a 5-year incorporation you should incorporate though, I think. So. We do get a gold rush, which is, well, that's a huge gold rush. That's so good for us. We're popping off now, baby. Our investment pool is drained down to the point where the queue is idling. So now we have to make decisions about what to do. Let's add this. Let's do that so we can do the steel company. By going up to level 5 here. Also, Kazakhstan nation's pretty horrible start. Yeah, so them, I think the pathway forward is like rough, but it's getting to the coast. I don't know if how much like Russia just goes after you though. The answer's a lot. That maybe like army. We basically don't have much of one. We have a total of 11 units. They shall be the Shadow Realm army. I don't think we will have to deal with the Shadow Realm, though. Why are you improving relations with GB? It's over 50? Yeah, we should just not be. Why does that happen is now the game keeps it in once you hit 50. The game keeps in the thing if they are part of a different, like, power block. I don't know. I wish there was a pop-up that asked if you wanted to take it out, but... It does keep you topped off, though. Ideological difference of our governments. Can we overcome that? You just have the landowners in Gov. We can't swap in the church or the landowners right now. Alas, poor Yorick, we knew him well. Horatio. These guys are still cautious, so they're probably gonna be like, no way, based on the cautiousness. At minus 50. We're not overcoming that. The Caucasian inmate. Someone told me that you can get, if you sided with them with the Circassia War, you can like rat out that way. In the next 5 to 6 days in real life, Hungary, there will be a huge flood. 20 to 30 record. Yikes. Get those sandbags. This conversation came up yesterday, though. Or not a similar conversation, like who do you think is the hardest start, which is a different conversation than can you get anyone to #1 GP? This is a different question. I don't know how hard Gobir is. I imagine with Gobir you could conquer Bornu and these guys and then Sokoto and then Benin and then get out. Gobir is maybe one that's a little bit hard to. Or Gobir is probably, hard's probably the wrong word for describing Gobir. It's probably slow. You won't face like, there's like no challenge there that like, you're like, oh, well I might get annexed and kill the run. So, we'll probably just try and get total separation in the call to stream. Is Landfang a hard start? Anyone with coastal access isn't that hard. It's just like, once you have access to the coast, then you can start beating up people who have 0 army and using their stuff. And Landfang also, notably, your market capital is in a decent spot, considering this is an excellent place to conquer. And I think you accept Ching Pops, you start off in their market. I forget what exactly are you, a tributary? Being a tributary is a little bit rough. I think you can break free though, pretty easy. Because you just have to defend your coast. And I think you could siphon off migrants from them? I can't remember. No, because they have closed borders. Rip the dream. It was once so nice, but now they have closed borders. Never again. So... Anti-clericalism. We like our syllables around here. I'd say the hardest start is Sikkim. Maybe, yeah. I think Sikkim you can try and... So Sikkim you probably have to try and rat out through Tibet and then Burma? I don't know how hard that is to do. Because having to fight China is weird, because the China Wars can be really, really easy, depending on if you could get an interest in like this type of thing and then join the UK's war. It might be the case that you have to like re-roll really aggressively and save scum for the renowned playwright event. But yeah, Sikkim's definitely up there with like someone who's super landlocked. I don't know how hard it is to get Tibet and then go through Burma, but I think that's what you have to do, right? Suppose you could route out to the left too, going through the Sikh Empire and the Sindh, but we have an election, so hopefully we get rid of this idiot. We really care about the Liberal Party losing. It looks like the Agrarian Party is currently winning, so we will definitely take the Agrarians over the Liberals. Also, to that extent, if we wanted to manipulate the leader of the Agrarian Party now, or if we wanted to do it now would be the time. Since AI instant establishes trade routes that are good for them, does the direction of trade route contribute to earns more? Like, it's important that I start, not them. Well, I believe whoever owns the trade route is the one who gets the trade center. The trade center provides positive value. So sometimes even if the AI has a trade route with you already, you should, like, do the same trade route so that you can take over the value that's being generated. And in that instance, I think that trade route competitiveness is relevant. I don't know exactly how much the trading past each other thing works, but I think if you have more trade route competitiveness, you get more of the value out of the trade route than they do. But like this weekly balance is coming from the differential of goods cost, and so this is creating value, and it is going to you can see where it's going. It's workforce dividends. Dividends are going to the shopkeepers, which is one reason why we don't like mercantilism, but the dividends would be split however they split them. We would prefer someone with more reinvestment, so we would prefer free trade or protectionism. We've got a lot of law passes to do. Yeah. I doubt you could have a big enough army to overcome the no meaningful difference modifier by the opium wars. Wait, what? I'm not sure what you're saying there. Oh, to get the UK to side with you? Yeah. You maybe also just actually rat out through India. If you do the thing to implode India, nah, you're adjacent. Well, you could conquer Nepal and then snake out this way. So maybe that's what's meta. I don't know how easy it is for you to create the situation where you can make the EIC explode, though. I haven't really put too much thought into like how optimized Sikkim start would do. Hey, I started watching some of your guys, but I need more time because I can't watch them all. But I'm going to ask you to question, play a pull-in game on your own, market, and I wanted. Geez, are you copy pasting a paragraph? And I want to just be on trade agreement, no customs union. I want to slowly develop and then go for Prussia and Russia in your own lands. But I'm in 4953, and I still need to spend time to build up living quality. I wanted to change, etc., etc. Construction for iron, endless wheel, develop, etc. Mostly, etc. Another to maintain culture, agriculture. I keep missing fabric, and the only thing that I need is grain. Grain will just generally be expensive because the PM sucks. So I build grain and so on. You don't necessarily want to build the most expensive thing. I'm going to endless wheel advice. Any advice that you have? Well, I would say if you are new to the game, I would not recommend trying to play Krakow, if that's what you mean by playing Poland. I don't know what you mean by playing Poland, but Krakow is like a rough start in general. And I would say that some PMs are more efficient than others. Like, so even though grain's expensive, we shouldn't be building grain because the PM is just awful. We'll swap to import prioritization. It doesn't do anything though because I think it uses Austria's kind of trades. Thank God we finally get something nice. We can in fact have nice things here. Bueller? Surely you stop being cautious after we join your side of a play. Oh, it's a uprising. God damn it. We saw Prussia and our eyes went red. That's a revolt, huh? That is a revolt. The time might be nigh, actually. Looks like they lose that. I hate how they can enforce military whatever, so we have to actually be able to declare on them before, because they can enforce military things. But we are independent, which probably means our economy is collapsing. Yep, our market's collapsed. Which is one of the reasons why we are gaining independence score or whatever. We're not getting close enough to 90 though. Nor do we have a cooldown that we can use. God, this is gonna be... You're releasing Poland from Russia, 4 provinces. That's not too bad. I think you would have to get inside someone's market though, or fight your way to the coast. It's kind of like a long question of like how you would play a release from Poland thing. What do you build to get rid of peasant? As quickly as possible, stuff that costs 200 construction, so that's mainly going to be fishing wharves, whaling wharves, and logging camps. To a lesser extent, you could build agricultural stuff, but for a variety of reasons, you kind of don't want to build the agricultural stuff, so mainly the stuff in here that costs 200 construction is going to be the best. Independence time kind of is the dream. Problem is our liberty desire is growing real slow, baby. And we do want to record a podcast after this, so we do have to like end on time. We can't just push it back. We want to end on time and like rest our voice for a little bit. Because talking for like 4 hours straight, like, it does a thing to you, you know what I mean? We like actively don't want market access is the thing. We could delete our ports. If we deleted our ports, this would go up faster. God, that's like such a wild type of like situation to be in. I think we have to damage relations with these guys too now, actually. Look, if Philippines wants to spark it now, that'd be fine with us. You're power struggling for the control of the bloc. This means that you have at least 15% more prestige for a total of whatever months we become the power block leader. I'm the captain now. I don't think we're gonna get to that. We have a literary guy. He's honorable and literary. Truly, this is the come up we deserved. Maybe all this is possible. Just a dream coming true. I think that... Yikes, dude. A little bit less of a dream on this front, eh? Do be nice to have that guy. But, I think we gotta conclude here. Or now's a good time. You want to industrialize your army because now, but the wheel of needs, I start to build industry, but again, standard of living drops and grain and fabric is needed. Standard of living is irrelevant, is my advice. Yeah, I think I would generally agree that, standard of living in this context he's probably in is probably not relevant. Like, it's relevant once you run out of peasants. It's probably not run out of peasants, so... I think you want Austria to win, because Liberty Desire might reset if the revolt wins. That's true, that might be the case. How do you get independent but stay in the bloc? I don't think you can. We're only in the bloc because we're a subject. I don't think we can. I don't know what happens if we win the power struggle, though. I don't know if we just take over the bloc and become independent. That would be interesting. I don't know what happens. What's the highest realistic SOL achievable? I don't like the SOL questions generally. Because, like, what you can do to increase SOL is just minimize migration and play a country with gold. So, like, releasing playing as California, closing the borders, and just, like, living off the gold will make your SOL really, really high. And then intentionally decreasing, like, pop growth. I don't know, you might be able to get, like, 35. I have a really hard time saying, because I don't intentionally try and push SOL really hard, because I think SOL's, like, not the thing to play for, because it playing for SOL forces you to play patterns that just aren't very good. Like minimizing your pop growth or minimizing your population, because the more industries you have that are really, really efficient, that are like operated by your pops, relative to the size of your pops, the better. So minimizing pop and having a lot of gold and having oil, which also appears in California, and then not letting any sort of pop growth or migration happen, like, is good, but that's like bad for maximizing GDP and overall power level within like the context of the game. So once the revolt is concluded, you have no chance to keep the block. It's pretty difficult to grow lower strata beyond 20. It's not difficult if you're on Council Republic, or sorry, cooperative ownership. I hate that this is inversed, but yeah. Without it's a bit of a grind to get to that level. You definitely need like a trade unionist bonus, throughput bonus, and like kind of low labor quantities. I think you can get past 50 SOL if you have everyone owning something foreign. I don't know how easy that is to do, but yeah, that's another thing. Well, there's still a lot of pops in there. Even with foreign ownership, like, I think only like a quarter of your pops are actually owners. Right, if we're on publicly traded, per level, we have 250 guys, right? And only 20% of them are ownership class. But that's a really high percentage. 20% is way higher than you have naturally. And so that might be enough to really drag up the average. But like, also, bureaucrats, I think, have a 4x wage. They have a really high wage multiplier. I can't remember what it is. Clerks have a really low one. I think clerks are 1.5. But, the clerks being 1.5, you have 150 clerks. You know, maybe even privately owned here is better for maximizing SOL. Actually, it probably is, because you would rather have shopkeepers to clerks. So you go privately owned. Yeah, 50 is probably possible. Depends what you own abroad, too, though. That's like a theoretical scenario I haven't even explored any, even remotely close. Has anyone actually formed Muslim HRE legitimately? I'm sure someone in my Discord has cooked it up. I mean, it's been... I think Belea's done it. I don't know, you'd have to ask him. It definitely seems... We're gonna have to go high infamy at some point and make some weird, awkward wars, I think, is the only way to do this. But... So SOL, is SOL relevant to economy? Not super relevant. It controls qualifications on migration. You need labor, so it helps you to not run out of labor, but your SOL generally goes up when you're running out of labor. And qualifications, it's not super, super important for qualifications, so... I think playing for high SOL is not particularly... Like, we are not caring about SOL at all, like, here. Like, it's not, like, a non-zero. But, like, looking at this and trying to make sure that your pops are, like, all their needs are cheap is, like, not the best way to maximize GDP. Although we are, like, we are going health system 4. A big part of this is increasing SOL, so it's not, like, nothing, but it's just, like, there's other stuff that's, like, more important. Like, it's better to max taxes, and you'd rather, like, only tax the upper class or primarily tax the upper class, but these guys have to pay taxes and you're just kind of shrug your shoulders. You'll notice that a lot of our taxes are dividend taxes. Our dividend taxes specifically are targeting the upper class, which helps the SOL, or they're generally targeting the upper class. Liquor's not. Liquor's not the best example. Liquor just gives us a lot per authority. So, you shouldn't be going down on taxes pre-1900. I think that contextually depends. If you're getting turmoil, as we are here, and that turmoil is causing state construction efficiency, the extra marginal construction you're getting by taxing more is not as useful as just having lower taxes and not getting the radicals. We don't watch this as closely as we should, but you can manage this a lot with abdications and resignations, which is why maybe it's the case that we should just swap back to monarchy if it were easy, so that we could just abdicate to reduce the radicals. But at a certain level of radicalism, like or turmoil, you get turmoil, and then if it's reducing our construction by effectively, 15-20%, then it would be better to just be extracting 15-20% and not getting the radicals. But also, like, yeah, you also want to tax, you want to tax your pops too. I don't know. If you're the guy who's asking questions about Poland, you're probably not taxing enough. If you're trying to increase SOL and this type of stuff. But we will find someone to raid. We will take a brief break, and then we will record the podcast. So let's see who we can find. Who's doing what? Man, we just have only, like, chess streamers. I guess we could raid Hera. Hera's playing Age of Empires 2. Very strong Age of Empires 2 player. I think he's, like, the man right now. If I recall correctly. Like, it was Viper, but now it's this dude. And we do like ourselves some Age of Empires 2. We will also link it to the YouTubers. Big nice for that. If they want to watch the stream. And with that, we will bid everyone adieu, farewell, au revoir, Godspeed, and smell you later. Alright, we ended the YouTubers first, so I just wanted to tell you guys on Twitch,